Okay, so I'm sure that this is something that most people have heard about in the wrestling world and everything about Paige having to retire early. And so I'm just going to kind of give my thoughts about this and about the, because it was Sasha Banks that was involved. So this is it's pretty unfortunate. I've always liked Paige. It seems like, I don't know, it seems like some fans have kind of turned on her, like when she got to the main roster. Some people kind of started to turn on her, and that's fine. Tastes change and everything, and opinions can sometimes change, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion, I'm sure. But I've always been a fan. I've seen a lot of her indie work, and there's no doubt in my mind that she can definitely get in there and go. She can definitely wrestle. I think that the reason a lot of people kind of turned on her was because a lot of the character development and the work that she did in NXT, the character that she developed in NXT and all that, all the storylines surrounding her and everything, and that built up her character. She wasn't really a face or heel in NXT. I guess she was a face, but like she was more of a tweener than anything, and she was this, just this anti-diva. She was just this badass, that would kick your ass, and she didn't give a fuck, and that was pretty much her character in NXT, and it was awesome, and then she got to the main roster, and the instant she debuted, they pretty much butchered that character, and then they kind of made her into just a cookie-cutter face for a while, and then they went on to do other stuff with her, the whole AJ Lee thing, which they butchered her character, and they butchered all the development that she went through in NXT. So I think that's the reason why. And also, even in NXT, I think they really watered her down in terms of what she can do in the ring, because like I said, I've seen a lot of her indie work. I've seen matches that she had with her mom, even, because she comes from a British wrestling family, which I'm sure most people know that, but if you didn't know, yeah, she comes from a big wrestling family. I mean, there's matches where she's wrestling her mom even, and other matches as well. I've seen her on Shimmer. I've got a Shimmer collection. It'd be crazy. I mean, you guys wouldn't believe how big my collection of Shimmer is, but I've seen a lot of her in Shimmer, and she can do a lot in that ring, and I feel like they really watered her down. Even when she was in NXT, I feel like they kind of limited her as to what she could do in the ring, and then even more so when she got to the main roster. So I feel like, it's just a case of her being watered down, and, her not being able to do half as much as what she could really do in the ring, so I would recommend anyone check out her indie work, because she does have some pretty good matches on the indies that would blow a lot of her matches in WWE, especially main roster, out of the water. So, but, yeah, so I mean, Paige is someone who, was trying to get back on track, because, obviously she had the fucking leak with the the porno. Well, not the porn. It's sex tape with the sex tape and everything, and a lot of wrestling fans, not all wrestling fans, but I mean, it is something that you can poke fun at, and I'm sure Paige is probably making, maybe pokes fun at it herself, but, I mean, it's just like with a lot of people, it's going to be something that's never going to die, so there's still people that are talking about it, people are like, oh, well, she can make it in Pornhub or something, which, yeah, whatever, some people don't have anything else to talk about, so they just do that or whatever. So some people just won't let it die, but I guess it's one of those things that can't really die since it's so big, but whatever. But she was really trying to, I feel like, come back and try to make a comeback and get back some credibility. And from what I had heard, I haven't been watching, but from what I heard, because I have friends that watch and tell me, from what I heard, she was doing a decent job. But unfortunately, this happened. I think she's only like 25 years old. She's not very old at all, and the fact that she has to retire early, it's very reminiscent of Edge retiring, because I remember back in 2011, I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't expect Edge to retire like that, because it kind of came out of nowhere, and it was similar to what Paige, with the neck injuries and everything, it was kind of similar reasons as to why Paige is retiring. I think it's kind of damn near the same. But, the difference is that I think that Edge, even though he had to retire unexpectedly and early, he had accomplished a lot. He had a pretty decent career, and he'd had some tenure. And Paige does too, but I feel like she could have done a lot more. and if she had decided to leave WWE, I mean, maybe she would have continued wrestling in certain indie promotions or whatever. She probably certainly could have, because I mean, age was on her side. But unfortunately, that's probably not going to happen, at least for the near future, because I know that she put out a tweet or something, or something that implies that she's going to be retiring for now, but there may be a possible return in the future. So it's kind of up in the air at this point, but for now, she is going to have to retire. Because I don't, if they're ruling that she should hang it up for now, then I mean, I would support that, because I don't want her to get in there and kill herself, or permanently paralyze herself or anything. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my thoughts on that. It's unfortunate, she had a lot of potential, a lot of in-ring potential and everything, and she could have done a lot more, but just sucks. So, and then on to Sasha Banks. Now, some people are, it's kind of split. There's some people who are saying that, that accidents happen, and that, it's not on, it's not entirely on Sasha Banks, and, the people kind of defending her and everything. And then there's kind of the other side where they're kind of calling Sasha Banks a dangerous in-ring worker, and saying that, that she's, yeah, I mean, basically just a dangerous in-ring worker. Kind of like the same thing with Seth Rollins and stuff like that. So, my opinion is that, do I think Sasha Banks is a dangerous in-ring worker? No. Okay, I don't think that she is truly a dangerous in-ring worker. I think that if she was an actual, like, dangerous in-ring worker, like unsafe to work, she would have had many more incidents, by this point. But she hasn't, so I don't think she's, so yeah, I don't think she's a dangerous in-ring worker by any means. However, I will say that, I'm sure that Sasha Banks knew about the reason why Paige was away and the whole issues with the neck and everything. And I've seen the clip. I've seen the clip where, Paige had her back turned. I'm guessing she was, healing it up and taunting the crowd and everything. And then Sasha Banks, like, she had a hold of the ropes, and she kind of like jumped on the ropes, and drop kicked her. Well, she held on the ropes, and she like drop kicked her while holding onto the ropes. Drop kicked Paige from behind and everything, and you could see that. I mean, she had some momentum behind that drop kick, and it was pretty. it was a pretty hard drop kick. That's what it looked like to me. I mean, I could tell, there was a lot of momentum behind that drop kick, and the way Paige fell was pretty nasty and everything, and you could tell that something wasn't right. I mean, she was struggling to get up. But, I assume that Sasha Banks knew about the injury, about how she had come back from that injury. And I feel like with the way that she delivered that kick, and with the prior knowledge that I'm sure she probably had, I feel like that it was I will say that I feel like it was very irresponsible on her part and very careless. I feel like she could have, you could have set up that spot any other way. I mean, you could have, or if you had to do the drop kick, you could have, not put as much force behind it or something, and then, and then Paige could have just, maybe fallen or done something else, to sell it, and it would have been okay. But so, and another thing, I've made a few videos on Sasha Banks, and I've made it clear that I'm not a Sasha Banks fan. I don't care for Sasha Banks at all. I think she's decent, but I don't think that she's like one of the best going, like a lot of people say. Mainly a lot of WWE fans say. I don't really, I don't really care for her as a person, because I feel like she kind of has a big ego. I mean, it's possible that I could have just, seen her on her bad days, but to me, I feel like she kind of has an ego, and I don't really like that, so, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I've made no bones about that. I'm not a Sasha Banks fan. I don't care for her, but I'm not going to go as far as to say that she's a dangerous in-ring worker, because I don't think she is a dangerous in-ring worker. But I will say that the move that she hit, you know, and the way that she hit it was kind of, again, it was, I feel like it was kind of careless and kind of irresponsible of her to do that. So, while I don't think she deserves all the criticism that she's getting, I do feel like she deserves a little bit of the criticism that she's getting, because I feel like there are people out there like me who are pretty much saying the same thing, and not really going as far as say that she's a dangerous in-ring worker in general, but that the spot itself was not very thought through at all, and definitely a big fuck up. Which, you know, I get that mistakes happen and freak accidents happen in wrestling, but I feel like if you have prior knowledge of the, you know, injuries of another wrestler that they recently came back from, I feel like you would at least try to make a conscious effort to be a little bit more careful where that's concerned. And, you know, I feel like that didn't go through Sasha Banks' head, at least at the time when she hit that move. So, yeah, so that's really how I could sum it up, really. I mean, dangerous in-ring worker, no, but the move itself was kind of careless and stuff. So, you know, bias against Sasha Banks aside, yeah, those are my thoughts. So, anyways, that's pretty much it for this one. So again, and you know, it's unfortunate about Paige, but hopefully, maybe in the future, maybe she'll. So I know Daniel Bryan kind of, you know, he kind of had a sudden retirement too, but there's rumors that he might be going back. So, you know, maybe Paige will be able to pull a Daniel Bryan eventually and maybe return to wrestling in a few years. Maybe, but I don't know. But anyways, that's it for this one, and I'll talk to you guys later. So, peace, and have a good day.